You know, most people think a home theater projector is only good for dimly lit rooms. In reality, about 70% of gamers who switch to a projector end up using it as their main display, even when the lights are on. That's because modern units have gotten bright enough to fight daylight, and the latency numbers have dropped to levels that were once only seen in high-end monitors. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I'm going to walk through why the Optoma UHD35 might be the sweet spot for anyone who wants a cinematic gaming experience without sacrificing daytime usability. First off, the UHD35 is a true 4K UHD projector, which means you're getting the full 3840 by 2160 pixel resolution, not a 4K-ish upscaled image. When you load up a game like Cyberpunk 2077, the extra detail translates into sharper foliage, more defined character models, and textures that actually look the way the developers intended. It's not just about the count of pixels though. The projector also supports HDR10 and HLG, so you see deeper blacks and brighter highlights in the same scene. Think of a nighttime race in Forza Horizon. The streetlights pop, the sky stays truly dark, and you get a richer color palette that makes the virtual world feel more alive. Brightness is another big deal. At 3600 lumens, the UHD35 can easily compete with a bright TV panel even when your living room lights are on. I've tested it during a family movie night where the kids kept the hallway lights on, and the picture stayed vivid without any washing out. That same brightness is useful for sports fans, too. When you're watching a Sunday football game, the green of the field stays a true grass green, and the white of the ball remains crisp, regardless of ambient light coming through the windows. One of the most talked about specs for gamers is response time, and the UHD35 hits a 4.2 milliseconds response at 1080p with its enhanced gaming mode. When you enable the 240Hz refresh rate, fast-paced shooters like Call of Duty or battle royales such as Apex Legends feel much smoother. The lag-free mode essentially locks the projector's processing pipeline so there's virtually no input delay, which is the kind of thing that can mean the difference between a win and a loss in competitive play. Even if you're just playing casually, that responsiveness makes the experience feel more immediate and less like you're looking through a window. Another benefit that often goes unnoticed is the dynamic black technology. Optoma's DLP chip can adjust the black level on the fly, so darker scenes don't get bogged down in gray. When you're exploring a dim dungeon in a RPG, you'll actually see the details hidden in the shadows rather than a blanket of murk. This also helps with eye strain during long sessions because the contrast is better balanced across the image. Setup can be a headache with most projectors, but the UHD35 tries to make it painless. The built-in keystone correction and the easy-to-use menu let you get a square image in a matter of minutes, even if you're mounting it on the ceiling. Plus, the projector includes a quick start guide that walks you through aligning the lens, adjusting the focus, and calibrating the color profile. I remember the first time I set it up in my apartment, I was able to have a perfectly rectangular image on my 100-inch screen within 10 minutes, and I didn't have to call a professional. If you're thinking about using it as a primary monitor for work, the UHD35 also offers a fairly wide screen size, stretching from 50 to 150 inches. That means you can have multiple windows open at once without feeling cramped. I've run a spreadsheet on it while streaming a conference, and the extra screen real estate made switching between tasks feel effortless. The built-in speakers are decent for casual listening, but I'd still recommend a soundbar or a proper home theater system if you want immersive audio. Now, let's be real about the pros and cons. What I really like about this projector is the combination of brightness and color accuracy. The image stays punchy even in a lit room, and the HDR rendering adds a nice depth that you don't get on most budget models. The low lag mode is a pleasant surprise for a device in this price range, making it viable for competitive gaming without any noticeable delay. On the downside, the fan can become audible if you're sitting really close, which might be distracting during quiet, narrative-driven games. Also, while the lamp life is decent, you'll still need to replace it after a few thousand hours if you push it hard on high brightness settings. Overall, the Optoma UHD35 fits nicely into a lifestyle that blends gaming, movie nights, and occasional work tasks. It gives you that true 4K crispness and HDR depth, handles bright rooms with ease, and keeps the input lag low enough for serious gaming. If you've been on the fence about moving from a TV to a projector, this model shows that you don't have to sacrifice performance for size. If you're interested in checking out the Optoma UHD35 for yourself, don't forget the link in the description if you want to grab one. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next video.